Doom Vivamus Vivamus Epicureans. This is the BCE Comics Pod one-shot edition. I'm your host, Nick Smith, and I'm joined by...
Stojr from Stojr Shelf. How's it going, Nick?
I'm doing well, particularly since we're participating in Kurtis Findlay's Epic Marvel Podcast Reading Club, and this one-shot is going to be our brief thoughts on today's issue, which is Uncanny X-Men number 187, Wraithkill. John Romita Jr. and Dan Green return on art for this one. Alright, so as Storm is leaving Forge's building, the Dire Wraiths attack. Against her wishes, Storm goes back in to attempt to rescue Forge, and is joined by Naze. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Naze? I think I've got that. I don't know. Anyway.
I've never heard it out loud, so I'm going to go with what you said.
Hey, sure. Anyway, Naze, we're going to go with. That's Forge's foster father. Well, the Wraiths seem to be overwhelming, even when Rogue and Colossus join the fight, but it was all an illusion, which breaks when Forge sends a hologram of Rom the Space Knight into the battle, and that scares the Dire Wraiths, because that's what Rom does. After defeating Wraiths, a new danger seems to form at the top of the tower where Naze had sent himself. Alright, Stojr, what are your thoughts?
So first, I'm not a fan of this cover. I'm a big JR fan, but I feel like the cover is a little sloppy. You get this just single yellow in the background. I don't think the characters are fully set up. And,
the Brood version of Storm turning into the Brood was better than this one. It's kind of the same idea, isn't it?
Yeah, and they don't really they kind of steal your body, so the transformation aspect doesn't make sense story wise either. But it almost like they were in the Savage Land, because there's a bunch of pterodactyls in the background. But the art in the issue is good. It's just not my favorite cover of JR's. I like how deadly these Dire Wraiths are. If you told me that, Rom the Space Knight's villain was coming in here, I would think that it's, some sort of Saturday morning cartoon villain, right? But these things are straight up murdering people. They are, there's real stakes with them. So I do like that about this issue and sort of how they're set up there. We have some magic in this issue, but not only with Naze, but is Amanda in this one? I'm not skipping ahead, right?
Amanda's not in this one. I think she might come up in the next one.
In the next one. So yeah, we'll get even more magic, and I'm not the biggest fan of magic in these things. So I think this is an interesting fight. We get I don't know if this is the first time, but we're getting Colossus in a slightly different costume. He's got an open chest with two kind of things on either side. And then I think that evolves into the costume that he'll get soon, which kind of has that line across it, almost like a backward 7 or something on it, that we'll see in the next volume. It doesn't last very long, but it kind of has more of a Russian look to it. But it's just odd. He's just switching up the costume. It's not my favorite costume of his. So there's just a lot of action in this. I don't really understand all of the, see, it's got kind of the middle of the chest is open. So it's just kind of, it looks like a dress that women are wearing nowadays, where the whole middle is open. They're using all the tape to keep everything in place. But, he's got this, organic steel that he doesn't need to tape up as much. All right. So he still has to cover the pecs. So
he has to weld it in place. Tape doesn't do. You gotta.
So it's interesting. I just don't I don't fully understand the villains. So I'm just kind of running with it. That there's action. We're in a tower. For me, that's a little bit reverse nostalgia, in the sense that I have some memories to Uncanny X-Men 299 through, or 297 through 300, and there's a battle that happens at Forge's at this place here with Iceman and Storm and Colossus. And that was one of the first X-Men books I, really read in like 7th or 8th grade. The fact that we're at that location again with Colossus, with Storm, with Forge again, and with JR on art, because he does the art duties on that too, is kind of interesting. I don't actually remember who. I can pull it off the shelf in a second, but I don't remember who they're fighting there. But I just remember they're in the same spot.
I don't know why, but you remember last episode I was talking about some cover that I thought the Wraiths were involved? We're not talking about the same issue, are we? Do you have it anywhere nearby?
I have it right here, I think. Let me I gotta find the actual issue. Give me a second here.
Here, I'm doing a quick Google search. What do you think it was? 297?
Yeah, it's definitely 297.
Okay, 297 is the one that has standing Charles Xavier looking over Jubilee. But I know that's what I started reading was around there as well.
Hold on, my things are out of order here. So that's 301. That's 296. Where's 300? 288.
No, it's not 300. It's that hologram cover, right? Because that's what you did in the 90s.
Yeah, 280. Is it this one? Oh, okay. I thought Legacies was later. I was thrown off with the volume number. All right, so now I have the right volume. Bear with me.
Okay. This makes for a good audio podcast.
Yeah. All right, so 297 is the wrap up to Executioner's Song. 298 is, I got to fast forward through Strifus's strike files because they didn't put it in the bonus material in this volume. They put it here. And then I have to fast forward through. All right, so 298 has the Acolytes fighting. And then I think they go to, unless I'm completely off on the issue numbers here. I must be off on the issue numbers.
Yeah.
I apologize.
Nah, it's all right. We're doing this on the fly, right? We're relying on 30-year-old memories, roughly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to remember back in 8th grade what this was. So.
Yep.
It's around here though. It's either I'm either 10 issues off or it's like 301 that I'm misremembering.
Well, I wonder if maybe this is a search for us to do outside of the recording. Otherwise, we're going to be forever on it.
Well, why don't you get it? It is 301. I just found it. Okay,
it's 301.
So 301 starts off with this one, and that's Assault on Aerie, and I think that's where we're at. Where this is Aerie.
Oh,
because he's got Mystique down in Texas with him, and then 302 is where Colossus and Bishop and Iceman are down there, and Storm is down there too, because you get this.
Mm-hmm. That's nice.
All by JR. But yeah, they're all down in like Texas, but they're not fighting the Dire Wraiths. They're fighting that futuristic guy that came with Forge, or came with Bishop rather.
Okay.
The Fitzroy.
Fitzroy. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm going to forgive myself for not remembering his name because he's a forgettable villain. So.
Yeah. Because you were talking about futuristic guy. I was thinking, are we talking Strife? Is that who we're talking about? But no. That's a whole other.
No, so I was on the wrong side of 300 in my memory here. But yeah, this is. But there's a lot of like they're hanging out at in Forge's location down here, right? Because this is after Mystique loses Destiny, and she's she's kind of distraught. She's a little crazy, and Forge is trying to rehabilitate her down at his spot. So,
right.
Anyway,
in the 300s.
I went on long enough. Your thoughts?
Yeah. No, that's all right. So back in this issue, 187, I enjoyed it. It's a big fight issue. We get more of the Dire Wraiths, as you were saying, and same as you. I like how much of a threat they are. It's spooky, it's creepy, and that's really cool. In the middle of this issue, there's a sudden snowstorm, which sparked a memory of, like, wait a minute, didn't we see this before? That there was a snowstorm that happened out of nowhere. Well, Stojr, you and I just saw that in Avengers West Coast issue 3 of their miniseries, right? This is that quasi-crossover event that a lot of Marvel books had this month because of something that happened in Thor number 384. The Cask of Ancient Winters was opened, and it plunged the world into a sudden blizzard. And so we see that in a lot of different books. We're actually going to see it again and even explained in later books in this volume, but we don't get any explanation in this issue. But so I was proud of myself that I remembered that. That sparked a memory there.
Yeah, I remember in Spider-Man, it was when I think it was when he drops off the black costume and realizes it's alive at Four Freedoms Plaza or wherever, the Baxter Building or whatever it's called at that point in time. So he's like swinging home with a bag on his head, and then the storm starts to come in.
Yep.
Somewhere around that time. I'm not going to go exact issue since I just screwed up this one.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you the issue either, but you're exactly right about which one it is. It's the Amazing Bagman issue. The Thor story that has all this is going to come out in the Thor Epic Collection Volume 13, and that comes out this March. So if you desperately need the backstory for that, you'll get it there, or in a lovely omnibus form. Which omnibus is that?
This is the Mighty Thor by Walt Simonson. The only so there's two downsides to this omnibus if people are looking for it. One is it is a creator-centric omnibus, so it skips 2 issues that Simonson didn't do. There was like fill-in issues, like where there was like a Hercules story, and they just skip those. I hate when that happens because I'd rather them just include this so you can so you don't need some sort of gap filler. And this has the recolored coloring. So when we get up to like Mutant Massacre, there's some Thor issues of Mutant Massacre, and we might be able to do some comparison on the Epics might have the original colors, and I can show off the recolors that are in here. Simonson did the recolors or supervised them, I forget which. So he's all on board with the way these are set up, and I actually really like the recoloring that's in here. I would prefer it, but not everybody does. So that's the kind of art that you're getting in here.
Mm-hmm. You just sparked a memory. We don't actually have the Mutant Massacre Epic Collection volume out yet, and I think this reading club is going to get to it before that volume actually comes out, so we might need to we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Anyway, with the snowstorm, this is the kind of crossover / continuity thing that I like, right? It hints of things going on in the rest of the Marvel universe, but it's not necessary for you to be tuned into everything in order to appreciate the story. It kind of feels like, Marvel is pulling off or did pull off the Secret Wars, and so now they're enjoying playing with this shared universe a bit more than they did before, but it's not so egregious like what we just covered in the Dark Avengers, where it seems like you really do need to read everything else going on in order to kind of get what's happening. So this is the thing I like.
Yeah, I mean, I think the X books will get there, though. I mean, once we, once X Factor kicks off and Excalibur. I mean, some of that stuff is pretty separate for a while. Excalibur's pretty separate for a while, but they'll bring them back together by the time we get to the 90s. And once you get into the 90s, it's almost like you got to read everything.
Yeah, and actually, we are starting to get a little bit of that too with the upcoming issue. Some of that New Mutant stuff and other things is kind of necessary, and I've missed out on that, so I'm flying blind on some of these. I've got the Epics, but they're still in those boxes upstairs, and I'm not moving those boxes for another maybe month. All right, Stojr, any final thoughts on this one?
No, I think I droned on long enough. It's a good enough issue. Looking forward to the next one.
Yep, agreed. All right, well, thank you very much, guys. If you've enjoyed our thoughts, again, follow us on YouTube. We're going to read, rate, and review a full big collected edition once a month, plus these daily one-shots. So thank you again for watching, and we'll catch you next time.